Star Wars: Rise of the Inquisitor, Chapter 5. 1 year has passed since Ryko Visari became an Inquisitor and constructed his own lightsaber. Sparring relentlessly with the other Inquisitors, the 11th brother eventually mastered his lightsaber design, more determined than ever to enact his revenge upon the Zabrak Jedi that cut down his father a year after the Clone Wars. Over the time spent as an Inquisitor, Visari managed to add a couple of Jedi kills to his belt, though they were merely former Padawans, and none of them knew of the Zabrak he waited so long to kill. Meditating on the bridge of the Imperator above Coruscant, Visari was interrupted by Admiral Stahl. "Inquisitor Visari, the Grand Inquisitor requests your audience as soon as possible," Stahl said as he entered Visari's meditation chamber. "I shall contact him immediately. Did he give a reason for his urgency?" Visari asked. "No, Inquisitor. He only said it was imperative that you contacted him," Stahl replied. "Very well, Admiral. Leave my quarters at once," Visari commanded. "As you wish, Inquisitor," Stahl acknowledged before walking out of the meditation chamber, and then he closed the door behind him. Inquisitor Visari activated the holoprojector and kneeled before the Grand Inquisitor's hologram. "You requested my audience, Master?" Visari asked. "Yes, Inquisitor Visari. We have finally found the location of the Zabrak Jedi who murdered your father, the late Moff Titus Visari. The Imperial Security Bureau informs me that he is hiding in the Felucia system of all places. We've had reports that this particular rebel cell has access to old Republic tech, and they've gone unnoticed there for years. It's finally time we end their little insurrection. Lord Vader himself has tasked you to be the leader of the assault, and you will utilize the 62nd Fleet to accomplish our victory. Crush every rebel scum you find. You are dismissed, 11th brother, for I have business above Mustafar to attend to," the Grand Inquisitor ordered. "It shall be done, Grand Inquisitor," Visari acknowledged, shutting off the hologram and walking out of his chambers. "Inquisitor Visari, what are your new orders?" Admiral Stahl asked, standing to attention. "Set course for the Felucia system. The Zabrak that murdered my father is hiding there. Deploy the entire 62nd Fleet. I want every rebel in league with this bastard killed," Visari snarled. "Yes, Inquisitor. Setting course for Felucia," Stahl said as the officers in the bridge of the Imperator punched in the coordinates, and then the entire 62nd Imperial Fleet jumped into hyperspace. The 62nd Imperial Fleet was quite large by Imperial standards, consisting of 5 Imperial-class Star Destroyers, including the Imperator, 10 Victory-class Star Destroyers, 4 Immobilizer 418 cruisers, and 10 Gazanti-class cruisers. Upon exiting hyperspace near the jungle world, Admiral Stahl and Inquisitor Visari, along with the crew of the Imperator, were surprised to see a flotilla of Venator-class Star Destroyers, donned with the infamous Red Phoenix emblem of the Rebel Alliance, blockading the planet. In between the Venators were about 10 Nebulon B frigates and 10 Corellian corvettes. "By the Force! It's an entire armada! All hands! Battle stations! Tell the immobilizers to activate their gravity wells and interdictor fields! Deploy fighters and bombers!" Admiral Stahl barked, ordering the entire bridge deck of the Imperator. "Should now be a good time to fly past the chaos with my TIE Interceptor?" Visari asked. "Do it, Inquisitor! Board the scythe and destroy any rebel fighters in your path! And one more thing, Inquisitor. If you get shot down, know that it was an honor serving aboard the Imperator with you again," Stahl said, saluting. "Likewise, Admiral," Visari saluted back as he ran to the door of the bridge elevator before it closed. Visari ran towards the scythe, his modified TIE Interceptor that possessed life support, shield generators, a hyperdrive, and upgraded laser cannons and rockets. He got into the cockpit, closed the hatch, and soared out of the main hangar, flying towards the raging space battle. "This is Omega-4. We're being overrun by a swarm of Z-95 headhunters. Cover us so we can commence our bombing runs," Omega-4 yelled over the comms from his TIE bomber. "Gamma Squadron coming in. We'll escort your approach," Gamma 6 replied from his TIE fighter. Inquisitor Visari zoomed past the incoming Rebel Z-95 headhunters and V-Wings, shooting down a few with green lasers and rockets. He saw a Rebel Venator move to the port side of the Star Destroyer Triumph, and witnessed the two ships rip each other apart with green and blue turbolaser fire. Swarms of TIE fighters and Z-95 headhunters shot each other down, exploding in spectacular fireballs. As Visari flew around the chaos to get onto the planet's surface, 2 Z-95 headhunters pursued him, firing their red laser cannons. Visari skillfully barrel-rolled, dodging their laser fire, and then slowed down to let the Z-95 headhunters pass him. He then locked onto the 2 aircraft and obliterated them with his multi-lock rockets. 2 V-wings flew towards him, and he shot one of them in the cockpit with a barrage of green laser cannon fire, sending his target spinning into the other V-wing, killing both attackers. Finally, he saw what looked to be an old bunker formation on the planet's surface, covered in turbolasers that immediately fired flak towards the site. Visari saw the incoming fire and dodged each shot with perfectly timed barrel rolls by using the Force to anticipate where the laser blasts were going to hit. He landed in a clearing about 100 meters away from the rebel base and exited the site. Master Karen, a lone TIE interceptor has landed outside our base. What should we do? A human rebel soldier armed with a DC-15 blaster rifle asked the Zabrak Jedi, who was meditating. Send a squad to hold him off, but be careful. I sense that he is an Inquisitor. I will meet our new guest shortly, the Zabrak ordered in his thick Iridonian accent. Yes, sir, the rebel soldier acknowledged, saluting. About 10 rebel soldiers brandishing old DC-15 rifles sat in the lush Felucian forests, waiting for Inquisitor Visari to make his first move, who then started to walk forward as his lightsaber activated. One of the soldiers grew impatient and fired off a couple blue laser blasts from his rifle, only for them to be quickly deflected right back at him by Visari, blocking them with his crossguard lightsaber. The other 9 mistakenly fired volleys of blue laser fire at the Inquisitor, and Visari easily managed to deflect each blaster bolt, killing the rest of the soldiers. Then he used force speed to quickly dash through the Felucian vegetation, and in mere minutes he reached his destination. 2 rebel guardsmen at the door of the base rushed towards him with Cortosis woven electrostaves, and as they activated them, Visari lifted one of the guards about a meter in the air with force choke. The other stopped and watched in horror as his comrade gasped for air and finally collapsed as his windpipe was crushed. The remaining guard ran towards the door to try and open it, but it was too late when Visari threw his red crackling lightsaber into his back. The rebel soldier saw the red blade protrude from his stomach, grimaced in pain, and died instantly. Visari dislodged the lightsaber from the rebel soldier's corpse and proceeded into the rebel base. 20 more rebels with DC-15s blocked his path towards Master Karen, who he sensed from across the hall. He then called upon the dark side to electrocute every rebel soldier with red force lightning, killing them all in seconds. When the smoke settled, and as each rebel soldier thumped to the ground with tendrils of red lightning coursing all around them, Visari finally laid eyes upon his father's killer, Jedi Master Karen. I've waited nearly half my life for this, Zabrak, Visari said, readying his lightsaber. If it isn't the son of Moff Titus Visari, welcome to my enclave. I see you've come acquainted with my men, Karen stated, activating his emerald lightsaber. Indeed, though when I fought them, they sniveled like the cowards they are, Visari mocked, preparing to lunge forward. They were brave enough to face you, but that's beside the point. Your father was a monster of a human being, and by killing him I did the galaxy a favor. It's about time I do the galaxy another one, Karen said as he lunged forward with force speed. Visari did the same, and the 2 blades collided, their lightsabers humming and clashing, with sparks flying everywhere across the hall of the base. The 2 parried each other's lightsaber swings at blazing speed, and hundreds of scorch marks were etched into the walls of the hallway. Visari saw Karen swing his saber to the left, attempting to decapitate him, but Visari parried the attack, and caught Karen's blade in his crossguard, and attempted to swing his blade out from the Zabrak's hands. Karen sensed this, and backed up a meter away from Visari and readied himself. What was that about doing the galaxy a favor by eliminating the Visari line? Why the sudden stop? Visari taunted, readying his lightsaber for another attack. I admit, I never encountered a lightsaber designed like yours before. Nevertheless, I will defeat you, Karen declared, lunging forward again. I admire your bravado, but I'm afraid it will spell your doom, Visari retorted, lunging towards Karen. They once again locked each other in an intense lightsaber clash, their lightsaber hums echoing throughout the hallway. Visari thrusted his lightsaber towards Karen's neck, but the Zabrak parried the attack away from him. Visari pulled backwards a bit, as Karen came crashing down on top of him with a downward two-handed slash, and Visari blocked the attack perpendicularly, with their lightsabers clashing. As their lightsabers were locked together, Visari pivoted the hilt of his lightsaber, pointing one of the crossguards towards Karen, and then managed to sever both of Karen's hands off with one efficient strike. Karen winced in pain as he kneeled in front of the victorious Inquisitor, watching as Visari levitated the defeated Jedi's lightsaber into his own hand and created a scissor out of the two lightsabers and put it up to Karen's neck. "Any last words before you become one with the Force?" Visari asked, preparing to end the Jedi's life. "I will never regret killing your damnable father, though I regret that I was defeated by his even more villainous son," Karen defiantly proclaimed. "Even in your dying breath, you don't cease to fuel me with rage," Visari admitted before he decapitated the Jedi Master, sending his horned head rolling on the ground. Visari then threw Karen's lightsaber in the air and sliced it in two with his own. As he left the base, he looked up to see the 62nd Imperial Fleet mopping up the shattered remains of the rebel ships, and then contacted Admiral Stahl via comlink. "Admiral, the Jedi's been killed. I'll return to the Imperator immediately," Visari declared. "So it's finished then. Glad to see that you finally avenged your father. He was a good man. Despite your victory, I have urgent news from Lord Vader. The Grand Inquisitor has been killed above Mustafar," Stahl solemnly informed the Inquisitor. "What? Who could have done this?" Visari growled. "A Jedi named Kanan Jarrus, who was in league with another group of rebels," Stahl elaborated. "Inform Lord Vader that I am awaiting his orders. It seems I have to avenge yet another mentor of mine." Visari cursed himself. Away from the chaos in the Outer Rim, Emperor Palpatine looked out among the sprawling city on Coruscant that surrounded the Imperial Palace, sitting in his throne with his hands forming a steeple. Behind him, a door opened, and his loyal apprentice, Darth Vader, entered, his respirator echoing throughout the throne room. "Lord Vader, you have news to deliver?" the Emperor asked, rotating his chair to face his kneeling apprentice. "Yes, Master. The Grand Inquisitor has perished above Mustafar by an unknown group of rebels," Vader informed him, and upon this revelation the Emperor looked unto Vader with an expression of disappointment. "How unfortunate. I sense that you have good news to mitigate this tragedy," the Emperor asked, his voice thick with venomous but subtle fury. "Indeed I do, my master. Inquisitor Ryko Visari has tracked down and killed Jedi Master Karen on Felucia," Vader replied, looking up to his scowling master, who then turned his expression into a sinister grin. "Excellent. Perhaps we have found our replacement for that incompetent Powen. Before I send you to the Lothal sector to deal with the rebel threat, I want you to promote Ryko Visari to Grand Inquisitor. I have foreseen that he will be instrumental in securing further victories against the remnants of the Jedi," Palpatine prophesied before cackling an evil laugh. This has been a self-produced audiobook series of my own Star Wars spin-off, Rise of the Inquisitor. I hope you enjoyed listening as much as I did making it. This is Premier Rick Letyeskov, signing off. Copyright Lucasfilm and Disney. All rights reserved.